internet. Adrian, I don't know. I don't know how I found you, but I'm really glad I found you. Can you let me know first of all how you ended up in Las Vegas?
Well, look, first and foremost, thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
You guys don't mess around here. The intro's still going on, and we're going straight to
it
now. So I've the boyhood dreams always to be on the radio. And following that path led me to Phoenix, Arizona. And one day I got a phone call saying, "Hey, we need help on the morning show here in Las Vegas. My son was about to be born and had to make some money. And let's go to Vegas." Never been. When it was time for my interview to check out the station, I had never been. Made the little 4-hour road trip from Phoenix to Las Vegas. 5 years later, almost 5 years here in a couple months. The rest is history, and we're here, baby.
And look at you. Oh, by the way, you look great on camera.
Thank you.
Have you decided that this is now part of the gig? You, like you said, radio was the dream. And you did that, Adrian.
Yes, sir.
But now everything's you got to be on camera.
Everything's evolved. We're like the way of the newspaper. We have to figure out what to do next. So when it comes to the live streaming and digital content and all things in that nature, I think it's not just something that you should be doing. It's necessary.
Got to do it.
Because if you don't, you're going to get lost in the dust. Whether we like it or not, the theory of just showing up to the studio and turning on these microphones and saying, "Vegas, I love you. I'm out of here at 10 p.m. and walking out." That's not going to cut it. Not in this day and age.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Unless you're like Howard. So you got to be Howard Stern or whoever. That's pretty much it. There's like less than 5 that can get away with that. And even then, they can get away with it because they got a team who's doing it for them.
Well, number 4 was getting away with it, but he's not allowed anymore. So now we're down to 3.
Yeah, exactly.
You and 2 other people. So
yeah. So no, the social media, the streaming, being on Twitch and Instagram Live and Facebook and all these other things and YouTube and all that, like that's a huge part of it. And I also think it's just it helps us, right? Like we build a connection talking to people.
I think it does.
Yeah, no, we talk to people, we build these connections, and this is just another pathway to get closer to our audience and the people that we're talking to and the people that we live with. Because at the end of the day, we're having a conversation with all of us. It's like we're at a big barbecue or barbershop, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
What barbershop do you go to? Because mine, it's all girls. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, you go to a legit barbershop.
Yeah, actually, my guys, I think he's kind of evolved because it's not a boutique.
Yeah.
But there's only like 1 or 2 because everyone has an appointment. He has his own little studio, so it's just him running the show.
Okay.
Which I salute. Entrepreneurship, back to the streaming and everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's changed from like a barbershop where everyone shows up. He has his own little private little studio doing this thing.
So you don't have 5 guys talking about Rocky Marciano.
No, just like 1 or 2, they'll come in, ESPN will be on whatever game, we'll start arguing about basketball and all this other stuff, but it's not 20 of us like it usually is.
Sure. Tell me about your passions, because that comes through when I listen to you. You just sort of jump through the speakers and even through the screen. Now we're doing this like we just talked about on camera. But what is it that gets you excited about sports and life and all of that?
We kind of talked a little bit before the show started. Big, just a lot of admiration for Tom Hamilton, who's a longtime play-by-play man for the formerly Cleveland Indians, now Cleveland Guardians, does a little Ohio State basketball as well. But he's been doing it at minimum since 1990.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking decades. And I will never forget listening to a spring training game, right? Which essentially for him, just like the players, is a warm-up game. And it's the second inning versus the Reds in Arizona with 30 people there. Way back, and it's a draw. I'm like, this man is screaming.
Yeah.
I have it on the lowest volume, and like that passion really connected me to the point that I didn't want to be the guy on the field. I wanted to be the guy talking about it.
Sure.
And I annoyed my family, always listening to sports radio. So I like.
How old are you then?
We're talking 6, 7, 8 years old. Damn. We're talking, I used to not make fun of. I used to think I was more superior than the kids in my grade who at that time, that's when SpongeBob really was making his mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's watching SpongeBob. I'm like, no, I'm watching Stuart Scott on Sports Center.
Right.
Like, so I was one of those kids that was like sports all the way. But the conversation, now that I've grown up, kind of the intricacies of, we could talk trades and all this stuff and the creating teams more than we could talk about what actually happens on the field. And now it's just sports. That's my passion. Another thing which I would consider a sport, but it's more entertainment. A huge wrestling fan, which recently, just out of happenstance, living here in Las Vegas and the amount of events from MMA, UFC, everything that's here, there's been a lot of wrestling events that have come to town. So I've been fortunate enough to talk to some heroes in that. And wrestling is just another thing where the passion, you asking me about where did I get my passion? I was like, I got it from going to these shows and seeing people go crazy, because it's unlike a concert. It's a different type of energy. Even a big time boxing fight like we had over the weekend with Haney, like that energy is amplified when it comes to wrestling shows.
You know what? That's it. You just hit. I've been trying to figure it out, and it just hit me. It's wrestling. That's where you get that passion that rolls over into the other sports, which is rare. You don't see that. You don't feel that. You do in wrestling, and you kind of take it for granted. But you're the first guy I ever met who take all that wrestling energy and is now using it for other sports as well. And it's really cool.
No, thank you, man. It's just a fun, like whatever, whether it's music, whether it's sports, whether it's wrestling, like what the things that I enjoy, I try to learn as much as I can about them. And when you learn about certain things, it just makes you more eager to have conversations with people. Yeah. And I kind of try to be like a sponge, right? And gain all this knowledge. So to be able to talk to some of these people and some of these legends that have done things in front of thousands and thousands of people has been very awesome. And carrying that over into sports, like you said, it's just the same passion that I see at Allegiant Stadium from the fans. We can't take it for granted, being able to have this access and being able to cover the teams and talk about them like we can and feed our families off of that. Yeah,
and you are. That's the thing. You're making a living doing what you love. And I know it's cliche, but they say it's not work if you're loving what you do.
No, 100%. It blows my mind every day. Yeah. This weekend, the Aces will have their home opener, I believe, on Saturday as they face the LA Sparks. Yeah, it'll be their home opener. It'll be their banner drop. And I will feel like the luckiest kid in the world to be in that room after watching them and what they did last year. And obviously they won the championship, to be there. And that's work. Yeah. Like, I'm a basketball fan. I can watch it. I don't care who's playing, men, women, whatever. If it's good basketball, I'm there.
Is that your number one sport?
To watch?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, to watch, probably. Baseball's fallen off a little bit. Football is football. It's king, but basketball is just different. I think it just comes from basketball was like the sport I loved the most to play.
Yeah.
So it kind of translated, and that's the sport I like to cover the most.
Well, plus you had LeBron.
Yeah, so I'm born in, we didn't talk about that. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother thing. I mean, I'm 29 years old. So LeBron was a myth to us. We'd be at our camps and our leagues, and the teenagers and the older folks that we'd have to wait to get off the court for us to play. Just hear, you guys hear about this LeBron? This LeBron guy. And then he shows up and he sells out a stadium, a high school kid here in downtown Cleveland. Yeah. And then it's like, oh no, this is real. And then the whole story of LeBron, that's just, I mean, it's legendary within itself, but kind of spoiled in that regard. Yes.
Do you hate that he plays in LA and not Cleveland?
Not necessarily, because I think that if you look at the roster and the players that LeBron was handed to, like at the beginning of his career, obviously when he came back the second time, he had Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
But I think there was a lot of mismanagement in terms of the supporting cast that he got. So I couldn't necessarily blame him. The first time I hated it and I was younger, and I was like, Miami and now with the Lakers, it's kind of funny because I don't think that Los Angeles will ever truly appreciate the greatness that they have in LeBron, regardless of what happens.
Spoiled, right?
Yeah, and regardless of, obviously they're down 0-3. They might be eliminated as we speak here in an hour or two, but he's won them a championship. He's done all these great accomplishments, and he's kept them competitive when obviously tragedy struck that franchise, and they weren't doing good while that was happening either.
Yeah.
So just like you just mentioned, spoiled. So it's kind of funny to me. And every year, living in Las Vegas, the Lakers are it's either the Lakers or Warriors is most popular team in town, correct?
Yeah, sure.
So I get to make fun of Laker fans and be like, only one title. You guys don't deserve him. You left Cleveland for this. At least he was making the finals. Over here, he's not. So
see, and I would be the same way if Steph ever leaves. I wouldn't know how to even behave.
Doesn't even seem like
I can't even imagine him in another uniform.
That thought has never crossed my mind in my 29 years of life until you just said it, Wayne.
Yeah.
Steph not being on the Warriors sounds bananas.
Right. It's just
like Draymond or Clay. But Steph, and it's that same effect. So be very fortunate because sometimes they do leave and it hurts.
I know.
Sometimes
hey, I'm an
leave
A's
twice.
fan. You don't even have to tell me about leaving.
Speaking of leaving,
yeah. Okay, so we're going to get to that, and I guess now's as good a time as any, and we'll talk Raiders after that. But let's talk about this fact that there may be. I don't even call it a fact. The story is that there may be a Major League Baseball team in Las Vegas, and it would be my Oakland Athletics. How do you feel about that?
First off, I feel unfortunate. Once again, I'm from Cleveland. I'm younger, so I wasn't necessarily the most cognizant when the Browns left to Baltimore
Yeah.
and became the Ravens.
There's your
connection
parallel.
point.
Yeah.
But trust me, I know what my family said about Art Modell. So I do get that. But when it comes to the A's and coming to Vegas, I do think it's inevitable. I just don't know.
Inevitable that we get baseball or that we get the A's?
It's inevitable that I think that the A's are leaving because at this point, it's like he left his wife to show up to this girlfriend that he's been seeing at work. And the girlfriend's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I got a whole family.
Yeah.
Here we're just having fun at work. And now you're at my doorstep and my kids are waking up. What are you doing here? I need you to leave. Yeah. And this guy can't go back to his wife now because he left his wife and said, I'm done with you.
Well, he could with counseling, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you have a mediator.
You know what? That's fair to say. I just think that the money, the people in power that control all of this, because it's not me, it's not you. Unfortunately, it's not for the people that are going to be paying for it or that are paying for stadiums across the country with some of these deals. I just think the movers and shakers will do whatever they need to do to make it happen. That doesn't mean that's going to happen right now. And I'm actually kind of glad that even I think the latest was that the state said 175 million is our cap on what we will give you guys.
That's the word today. Yeah.
So that means that there's a $225 million just where's this money coming from situation.
John Fisher's pocket, right? I mean,
yeah, well, you would assume, and that's how it should be. And I'm glad that, fool me once or you can't fool me twice, whatever the phrase is that George Bush said. That is how the people from Las Vegas are treating it, as they should, because Vegas isn't dumb. They know that the lack of success that the A's have had, they know about the A's success that they've had despite not being handed anything. And even when they've had those times, what happens?
Yeah.
Your Matt Chapman, your whatever all-star gets traded, prospects, and let's do this cycle for years and years and years and years.
Right.
And Vegas isn't going to pay all this money to have that happen. You're going to need to support us. You're going to need to pay for your stuff, first off, and you're going to need to put investment back into your team. It's not like we're not here just handing out all this money for you to come here. They don't need to. We don't need to. We got the Golden Knights doing their thing. We got the Aces. We got the Raiders. We got professional lacrosse. We got boxing of it. We have too much for us to be over here like we're fools, like we have nothing. We haven't eaten in 3 days. That's not our philosophy. We have plenty of food.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're good.
We have a buffet, if you like.
We have a buffet.
Yeah.
So we don't need to come over here and we haven't eaten so long and please come to Vegas.
Right.
Like, no, it's not that situation.
So doesn't that lead maybe more to getting a team that is your team that you can give birth to?
True. I don't have much. How do I say this? I have no confidence in Rob Manfred.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a buffoon. I think the last time that he
but the bases are bigger.
Yeah, true. No, not even. Great point. Yeah. It's just when I look at the last time we had an ownership issue was Miami, when Miami was up for sale, when Derek Jeter's group purchased it, right? And what essentially, for those that don't remember, what Rob Manfred did is that he made the price so expensive for the group led by Derek Jeter, which I think at the time was like $1.3 billion, which is crazy when the Marlins have been that terrible despite the 2 World Series that they won.
Yep.
So they increased the price for Derek Jeter to buy it, which meant they didn't have enough money to invest. The first thing they did was trade the current MVP of the NL, which was Giancarlo Stanton, and traded him back to the Yankees, which just looked a little fishy when Derek Jeter.
That's where Derek comes from.
Yeah. So and he purposefully took the most money when he could have took a team for, let's say, 1.1 bill or $1 billion. Mm-hmm. Do we have to do 1.3 just to get the bottom line to look fancier? So I didn't know
that the league dictated the price in that situation.
They're the team. They're the ones who selected. They had to approve.
Right.
So they were the ownership that got the approval out of the 4 or 5 different bidding wars, which were all
Yeah,
within.
kind of like how Fisher and his group got their gig. Yeah.
So, and I say all of that to
Going
say,
to school with the commissioner.
yeah. I don't trust Manfred handling the creation of a new team.
Mhm.
I think it would be easier on his behalf.
Well, they're going to expand though, right?
We'll see, but like
he says, it's inevitable. They're going to add 2 teams.
I'm gonna be really honest with you, and I just told you Tom Hamilton was the reason why I came into sports, and that was my passion.
Yeah.
When I look at baseball, and I know this year has improved, games are 2 hours, 2.5 hours long, and it's been a little bit more exciting, despite the fact that I think the Guardians pitched. They faced the Mets over the weekend.
Okay.
It was Verlander and who's their other guy that they got? They got the other ace on the Mets. What's the other dude's name?
Don't keep up with the Mets.
Their 2 starters is Verlander and Scherzer. There it is, Max Scherzer and Verlander. Them 2 starting, their combined salary was more than the entire Guardians payroll. So we still have that all around the sport. But they keep saying that there's more and more and more money. I look in these stands across the country.
There's a lot of empty
seats. And they're
seats.
empty. It has become a regional sport.
Yeah.
If you're in St. Louis, if you're in New York, if you're in Boston, and some Chicagoans, because I know the Cubs haven't been doing good lately. Those are the only cities that live and die with every pitch. Everywhere else, it's cool. We love it, but it's not crazy. So they keep telling me that they have all this money. I know people aren't watching on TV. I have social media.
Mhm.
I know that a home run clip isn't going to do more than a Steph Curry 3 if ESPN posted on their Instagram.
Right.
Like, I know what younger people are paying attention to. So how are you going to tell me that you guys have enough money to just bring in all these teams? They're hoping that cities that don't have anything will pay up the money.
Yeah, of course.
But in my theory, and hopefully Las Vegas can be an example of that.
And I was going to say Las Vegas is one of those cities. Yeah.
I just hope that we're smartening up.
Yeah.
I know that Buffalo paid an exorbitant amount of money to do this new stadium with the Bills, even though it doesn't have a dome, which doesn't make any sense. But I just hope more cities across the country aren't just over here just like, oh my God, baseball, come save us, make us a big time city, and please put a baseball team there. Because that's what they're hoping for.
Well, Nashville wants that.
True, and they can afford that.
Sure.
So, I mean, I guess
Vegas wants that, and you're going to say they can afford that.
But with all that being said, and obviously the money is playing a huge part, does Vegas want it to that effect that they'll do all that, in your opinion?
I think so. I think if it was a situation like, I think they would embrace expansion, because every Las Vegan that I speak to, when I say, hey, my team's getting ready to come and be your team, which then makes it still my team because I live here, but I want them to stay in Oakland. What do you think? Leave them in Oakland. Because they already know about the ownership. They know he's not going to spend any money on that team. So you're going to end up having the same deal going on here. It's going to be out-of-towners coming in to support the Cubs, those teams you mentioned, the Cardinals, Yankees, Mets, Red Sox.
I will say one thing about the conversation that, and it's not necessarily about the stadium or the money. One thing that I think is a little bit misguided is the idea that they need to put the stadium by the strip and tourist and that.
Yeah.
Look, in the NFL, it is very easy for a group of fans to say, hey, we're going to one World Game. What city do we want to go to?
Vegas.
And of course, it's always going to be Vegas for like the next 10 years.
Right.
Because it's easy to get away with.
It's a weekend.
You can take the kids, you can bring the girls, even if they don't want to go to the game, because there's plenty to do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that in baseball. You might get like 1 or 2 people, like the son and dad, or the dad and the son that want to go to all the ballparks in one summer. Like, you may get that, but very rarely are people taking trips like that. Like, I don't see a Kansas City Royal fan coming in here in July.
My point. Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is that I do believe that this city, the people who live here can support the team. Now, what the A's numbers are, and they're thinking we're going to sell out every game.
Yeah.
Maybe the first season. And I don't think it's going to be every game. I just think that if the team is competitive, the city itself will be able to support the team. Because, I mean, that to a smaller effect, they do it with the Aviators. Granted, that's 10,000, 11,000. That's not what
which is more than the A's are drawing now.
True.
But that's by design. The fans have basically flipped the middle finger to Mr. Fisher.
100%. And as they should.
Yeah, they're not showing up. They're not going to put another penny in that guy's
100%. I'm a Browns fan. I never understood why people still get there's a waiting list to get Browns season tickets for what? They should be paying you to go.
So let me ask you that, because I thought that was the perfect parallel, what happened to Cleveland and their football team. So they moved to Baltimore. They became the Baltimore Ravens. They're not the Baltimore Browns, right?
Yeah.
So if the A's were to move here, what do you think about the idea that they have to adopt a new identity and become a new team and let Oakland keep the A's and get an expansion team?
And I mean, even as you're saying that, I'm thinking of examples. The Sonics, when they go to Oklahoma, they changed completely. They went to the Thunder. Right. To me, as an outsider, I think that it would be a shame for the A's legacy and the color scheme, some iconic moments. Ricky Henderson, like all these, it would be a shame for that to simply end.
Right.
Because if it means that Oakland never gets professional baseball again, which means we never then get the A's because we're going to become the Las Vegas whatever, I think that would be unfortunate.
Sure.
So I would carry the name. Las Vegas A's. I would carry the name. I'd carry the color scheme. I know that a lot of people don't like it. I do. I like the green.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like it.
If you go on social media, because some of the people that instantly did the photoshops with the Las Vegas and then they put the 8, like some people were like, why don't we just switch it up? And I was like,
crap, that's Derek Carr. Erase that.
Yeah. No, I would. I don't want to sound sacrilegious, and I'm not trying to like stir anything up. I would keep the legacy because it is a legacy. How long have the A's been in Oakland? Like this is
55 years.
Yeah, we're talking.
So it's me as a kid, 8 years old, hanging out with Reggie Jackson, Vida Blue, Sal Bando, winning 3 World Series in a row, right? 72, 73, 74, but they won the division in 71 and 75. And had there not been this thing called free agency, they probably would have won 2 more. All right.
Thanks, John Berner.
Yep. Then you had that whole, the Bash Brothers in the 80s. They were in the World Series 3 more years in a row. That's my son's generation. And now his son is an A's fan. And he's a fan of Matt Olson and, the guys that aren't even there. He's
Chapman and
he's learning Ruiz's name,
Yeah.
I mean, that should continue. And it saddens me that it isn't. So
no, 100%. Like when it comes to the team leaving, like it's just I don't want no team to lose I don't want no city to lose their team.
Yeah.
And that legacy. You just brought up how many generations. You didn't even mention Barry Zito, Miguel Tejada, all them, but that was that was my era.
Scott Hatteberg.
Moneyball,
basically.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that I don't wish it upon any city. And I don't know if that makes people in Oakland, if they do end up being the Las Vegas A's, if they don't look at it in a positive light, and I can't blame them. But to me, as like a baseball fan, I would personally choose to maintain that legacy. Yeah. So that's why I say I would keep the Las Vegas A's. Okay. I'm also terrible at names.
Yes.
So like that's a big part. I couldn't even name my son. the mom had to figure out the name because I couldn't think. I was like, I don't like any of these names. So I'm not a good name guy. That may be the other part of it.
You know what? We're going to have to sit on the Raiders for a minute. But are you going to see Mark Davis if you're out at the arena?
Yeah, we see him. We see him from time to time. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mr.
He's
Davis.
there.
Sorry. Do you call him Mr. Davis?
I haven't met him. There was a couple times where I spoke with some other Raiders executives instead. Okay. But eventually he's there all the time.
You're going to get to him.
No, yeah, he's always there. Much to the chagrin of some Raiders fans, because sometimes he shows up and there's a preseason game, and now he doesn't care about the Raiders because he's not at the preseason game. Oh my God,
Marsha, that's what that is. But I would love to have you back on as we get a little bit closer to the NFL season.
Absolutely.
I got this whole thing I want to talk to you about in terms of the coach that's there now and what you. Yeah. Okay. Good. You made the right face. Good. Okay. I didn't know. I don't know where you're at on this.
Hey, when we get closer to the season.
You hear that? You always said it with disdain. And then, Derek Carr, and now you've got Jimmy G, and, we'll see how that goes.
Jimmy G is a beautiful man, though.
Yes. Oh, he is very pretty.
That's the last thing I want to say before I get out of here. Just a gorgeous. Do you imagine? I want to be Jimmy G for just one day.
Would
Walk
be nice,
down this strip.
Right?
Good Lord. Yeah. Wouldn't leave the strip.
But the thing is like, I don't even think he knows he's that good looking.
That's what makes it even more good.
Yeah, you're right. That makes it even
doesn't know. He's just like, "What's up, guys?" And all the oh man.
All right, Golden Knights tomorrow night. Do they win again on the road?
I hope so. Yeah. Let me tell you something. As a Hispanic male, I'm just to be very honest with you. I'm not too much into the hockey.
Yeah.
But the people love it, and I love this city. So go Golden Knights, go baby! Yeah. Is it Dallas, right?
Yeah.
I forget that the
Dallas.
Stars, the
By
Mavs,
the way,
the Cowboys.
Dallas started off being the Oakland Seals, so that was our team that's now playing the Golden Knights.
Yeah,
See, we're used to that. All of our teams are leaving.
It's a damn shame,
Yeah,
man.
well, we'll keep them. Hey, thank you.
Of course.
You are as enjoyable as I assumed you would be watching you and listening to you. And I'm glad to get to know you a little bit better now, too.
Absolutely, Wayne. Thank you for the invitation.
Sure.
You have the phone number. Call away whenever you need me.
Okay.
Thank you so much to all the listeners and watchers. Thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Adrian Hernandez, remember that name because you're going to be seeing a lot of him in the years to come. I guarantee it. I promise you.
Uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. That's 800-557-7921.
Hi there, this is Kirby Schofield with Schofield Realty here in Las Vegas. Real estate is always changing, be it a buyer's market, a seller's market. At Schofield Realty, it's your market. Buying or selling, we have the team and the tools to work the market so it works for you. We are excited that we're on the Wayne Coy Show. Our results blessed us with the Zillow Flex partnership roughly about 2 years ago due to our consistent conversion and customer service scores. With conversion, that means we can close. And with our customer service scores, you know you're going to get the best service possible. We're always looking for agents, led by mentorship, resources, and experience. We are your guide. Find us, kirby4u.com. That's KIRBY, the number 4, the letter U.com. kirby4u.com or call 702-766-9538. Again, 702-766-9538.
Packages start at $29.99 a month with sign agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-557-8036. 800-557-8036. 800-557-8036. That's 800-557-8036.
Hi, I'm Sheldon, the owner of Solid Motor Cars. I've spent over 30 years in the retail car business. It is all about the vehicles, but more than that, it's about the people. And my team and I are proud to bring to you what we believe is the finest experience in buying a pre-owned car. With great credit, we can get super low interest rates. But if you've had some challenges, we're experts in that field, and we can get almost anybody approved. Come down to Solid Motor Cars and take a look at our vehicles. They come with a 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty. So when you get a vehicle from Solid Motor Cars, you can feel confident that that vehicle is a quality, properly reconditioned vehicle that will serve you and your family for years to come. So for all your automotive needs, whether it's a new car, truck, or SUV, or if it's repairs, service, and maintenance, Solid Wheels, solid deals, solid people. Coming down to meet the crew. My name's Sheldon. I'm the owner here. I'd love to help you any way that I can.
3024 East Fremont Street, 702-820-1444.
Jumpers Jungle Family Fun Center is an indoor children's jump and party space in Las Vegas, located at 2050 South Rainbow Boulevard. Kids of all ages can come and jump on our bouncers, race through the obstacle courses, speed down the mega slides, slam dunk into the basketball hoops, and much more. Are you looking for that perfect birthday party venue? Look no further. Jumpers Jungle has a party package that will fit your needs. Check out the open play schedule online at jumpersjungle.com or call 800-463-JUMP. It's time to jump your way to fun at Jumper's Jungle on the corner of Oakey and Rainbow.
Do you love watching television? If you're on a fixed budget, you need to make this free call right now to Dish and find out how you can get a fixed monthly price to watch all the television you want for 3 full years. In addition to a 3-year price guarantee, you can also get free monthly movie rentals. They give you 1 free movie rental every month. That's a $165 value, yours free. Plus, get free in-home tech visits, no-cost equipment replacements, a free voice remote, and you can watch commercial-free TV. Even access all your favorite apps to stream like Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and more. Now is the perfect time to call Dish. Take advantage of the 3-year price guarantee. Save yourself some money, and all your equipment is free. Call right now.
800-586-4206. 800-586-4206. 800-586-4206. That's 800-586-4206. Paid for by
My name is Michael
NBS.
Stefanski, and I am the owner and founder of Sin City Custom Suits, custom clothing concierge. I help gentlemen get into clothes that fit them like they're supposed to, that they pick out themselves, and we craft together. 600 different suit fabrics to pick from, about 40 measurements to make sure the suit's going to fit you right. Then we decide, do you want 2 buttons on the front, 3 buttons on the front, how many on the sleeve? You want like a custom photo lining for the inside of your jacket, any number of different things that you can think of. This is all about what do you want. And when you ask guys, what do you want? They don't know because they've never been given the option before. Because I help men look as absolute best as they can. It's transforming people's lives. If you've never had a suit that fits you right, you have no idea how much confidence it gives you. That's the important part. 702-767-2478. Instagram at Custom Suit Guy, SinCityCustomSuits.com.
Are you worried about your taxes? Okay, so I'm talking to those of you out there that have not filed in a few years with the IRS or state. It's time to get worried, and here's why. The IRS is getting back from their own COVID lockdown, and they're hiring more enforcers, and they're going to come after people that owe taxes. So if you're a 1099 worker, and maybe you just plain forgot to file your taxes, you need to call the professionals right now at the Tax Helpline. They are experts at knowing the tax regulations, and their goal is to help you pay as little as possible. Call right now and get a 100% free tax evaluation. Remember, before the IRS knocks on your door, knock on our door. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, make this free call right now.
Call taxes 321 now at 800-203-3517. 800-203-3517. That's 800-203-3517.
The best choice for convenience, comfort, and value, My Place hotels are ideal for both short-term and long-term travelers. The rooms at My Place features pillow-top mattresses, microfiber bedding, and a variety of soft and firm pillows. All extended stay rooms offer their own kitchen, which includes a full-size refrigerator and a cooktop. On-site laundry facilities are also available for extended stays at pet-friendly My Place hotels. Book your stays online at myplacehotels.com. My Place Hotels, St. George and West Jordan, Utah. Make My Place your place.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
Oh, man. Again, we want to thank Adrian Hernandez. What a bundle of energy this guy is. You can find him and follow him in the Sporting Tribune. That's who he's working for now. And he keeps up, of course, that entire publication does on everything that's West Coast sports. So the Aces, who we talked about there, the Raiders, he does a great job covering them. And he's got his own podcast as well. Don't forget, you can follow him, by the way, at Adrian Radio 93 or at Adrian CLE, that's short for Cleveland 93, and just you'll find out like I have. The guy's just good at what he does. I love to see that. That's the next generation, for an old-time broadcaster to be able to see somebody that's a little bit younger bringing the funk. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we'll have Adrian back. In the meantime, get you up to date on what's going on with the A's and Nevada, apparently now $220 million apart. Nevada said we're good for $175 million and no more than that. Clark County hasn't really said what they're going to do yet. So what's going to happen with that gap? And I use that word without even intending to, but there it is. Can you fall into it? Okay. The guy we've been sort of watching on the East Coast, and we ended our show Friday with his take on Friday, is DA from the DA show. Well, he decided to get Casey Pratt on the horn. And Casey, of course, has been following the Howard Terminal situation in Oakland better than anybody. So let's see what the two of them think now about this thing. And remember, this is before we knew that number, before we knew what was happening and the $220 million gap that's there right now and how that's going to get made up. And remember, we haven't even seen any renderings yet. We don't even know what this thing's supposed to look like. I guess we will in the next couple of days. They got to hurry up because legislation is wrapping up unless they have a special session. And I don't think anybody wants that, especially if you're trying to get reelected. All right, let's see what these two got into. Casey Pratt and DA from the DA show, CBS New York.
Is this possible that John Fisher shot himself in the foot, that he tried to strip this thing down to the studs in Oakland, and now because the team is so bad that now in Vegas that the baseball fans there, the taxpayers there don't have much of an appetite to pay public money for a bad baseball team?
Yeah, see, I think this was a grand miscalculation by the A's, because if you had a really good team, something that actually excited people, people might actually want that team. Like, they might be clamoring for that team, but they stripped this team down to the studs right before trying to secure a deal either in Oakland or Las Vegas, which was a terrible move because no one wants the A's right now. And they've driven away all the fans. They've stripped the roster down to the worst in baseball. And now they're saying, oh, we got this great product. Come give us all your free money, Vegas. And it's just not a great sales pitch. You see a lot of stadium building. When that happens, the teams are good. They try to have a really good roster and to entice the public into signing off on these large deals. The A's did the opposite approach, and it sort of speaks to the desperation of the franchise and the unwillingness to spend any money by A's ownership.
Casey Pratt, ABC 7 in the Bay Area. What's the timeline on getting things done in Vegas? Because right now the clock is ticking on this binding agreement for this new site at the site of the Tropicana as well, right? I mean, this is far from a done deal.
Yeah, so it's an interesting timeline in that by the end of this month, and very, very soon, they need to have legislation drafted to try to even get the A's the money they want in the first place. If they don't get that, they're going to have to go into a special session. Well, they're already asking for $395 million of public funds. And if they go to a special session, that's something that's going to cost taxpayers money too, probably like $10,000 a day. At this point, the taxpayers are going to be like, okay, at what point does this stop, right?
So the clock is ticking. They've got to get something drawn up by the end of the month or call a special session just for this. Let's just say that doesn't happen. Does that take us back to square one, or do you think the A's still have motivation to keep trying to get it done in Vegas?
I think they keep pushing in Las Vegas until they have a firm answer. What they haven't really had this entire time when they were dealing with Oakland, there was always the specter of the parallel path in Las Vegas, but they never really had a firm answer. Like, what did Las Vegas actually mean to the Oakland A's? At this point, they're trying to rush to get that answer, and everything appears rushed and feels rushed at this point, and because it is rushed. But they're going to try to find out what their actual answer is out there, because if they strike out in Las Vegas, the only option they have is to try to come back to the table in Oakland, and they've really burned that bridge in a large way. So at this point, I just don't see it. I think if they strike out in Vegas, they're going to have to entertain selling the team.
And then it's a different dynamic, right? Because when you say they burn bridges in Oakland, would the city have patience and willingness to work with new A's ownership?
Yeah, so I've asked about this the second this thing went down and went south here. The city would absolutely be willing to work with the new A's ownership. In fact, they even said that they'd be willing to take the call from the current A's ownership, which is hard to believe after everything that's happened, but they would. So, yes, if a new owner came in and bought this team, the city would absolutely be willing to work with them. And furthermore, if the new ownership came in, they could scale down this project at Howard Terminal and make it a whole lot easier to build. The project at Howard Terminal for the A's currently was stadium, residential, commercial real estate, public parks, all these other things. If you just built a stadium, maybe a hotel, maybe some bars and restaurants around it, and then scaled up in later phases, this thing could have been done a lot quicker.
So that's been the ruse here as Casey Pratt, ABC 7 of the Bay Area, joins us, is that John Fisher's ownership team with the Oakland A's said, we need massive multi-use development all around the ballpark. So we need land and we need hotels and we need bars and restaurants. Well, he's gone to Vegas, and now they've been shoehorned into a little 5-acre lot, and they can't have mixed-use development. So now, what does that say about that needing to be the priority if the A's basically are not going to get that even if they go to Vegas?
Yeah, you're really spot on that, Damon. That's why you're the best. That's why I want to come on the show and talk to you all the time. They really did say in Oakland they couldn't afford to build the stadium and support the team without all the residential and commercial real estate to support the development. And in Vegas, it's just one 9-acre ballpark site. That is it. Any ancillary development will be the Trop or Bally Sports to do. And so it's kind of funny to see them say that they had to have all this stuff in Oakland on the waterfront, and now in Vegas, they have none of it. It's a really interesting thing to look at, but it does tell you a lot about their motivations in Vegas, because in Vegas, here's what they are getting, though: waived relocation fee, free land on the Strip, some other development money's coming in, and hopefully that $395 million in tax dollars. So yes, they can now just build a ballpark, a tiny little ballpark on the Strip, because they're getting all these handouts as well. So it's an interesting thing to look at.
Where is the money coming from to flesh out the rest of the ballpark? They want to build a $1.5 billion ballpark, and at best they would get $400 million from Vegas and Clark County. Where is John Fisher coming up with a $1.1 billion to build the rest? Is that out of his own pocket?
Hopefully loans. And if you look at what was going on in Oakland, the stadium in Oakland would have probably been cheaper because it didn't need a retractable roof or a dome. In Vegas, it does actually need a retractable roof or a dome. I don't even know if you can put a retractable roof on 9 acres, but that's another problem for the engineers and ballpark developers if they ever get them. So yeah, they would probably have to finance that. And I know you may have seen this. I tweeted it out, and a great person, Vitamin D on Twitter, if you look him up, he actually did find that the A's have loans taken out against both the Oakland Athletics franchise and the San Jose Earthquakes franchise. So John Fisher's already borrowed against the totals of both of his pro sports teams. So I don't know how easy it'll be to get loans, but he is supposedly a billionaire. So there's always that.
Supposedly, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me your crystal ball here, Casey. You followed this story longer than anybody. You've got boots on the ground in the Bay Area. You know the ups and downs, the ins and outs. What's your most likely scenario for how this all unfolds?
So I think that if I had to handicap this, I'm still leaning in Las Vegas's favor, as much as that pains me as a Bay Area person to say it. And that's a credit to Las Vegas. It's a credit to Nevada lawmakers, because they have a get to yes attitude about things. They like to try to find a way to make a deal, try to find a way to get things built. It's a lot tougher to build in Oakland. It's a lot tougher to build on the Oakland waterfront even. So I'm going to go ahead and give Vegas the edge, not because of the A's and John Fisher and Dave Kaval's success, but because of the way they try to approach getting things done in Las Vegas. But this is a big but. Keep in mind, things are not going well out there, and they don't have a lot of time. So there are a lot of things that could derail this at this point for Las Vegas, but I have to give them the edge because the ball is in their court currently.
Best case scenario for Oakland keeping the A's would be that it falls apart in Vegas, and that forces Major League Baseball to say that these bozos, Cavill and Fisher, can't get their act together. We've got to force them to sell, maybe to a Joe Lacob or something like that in the Bay Area. And Bay Area keeps the A's, new ownership, and then maybe an expansion team goes to Vegas?
That is the absolute dream scenario, I think, for Oakland and Las Vegas, because people in Las Vegas are now seeing how the A's current ownership comports itself, and they're very turned off. And I think people in Oakland have seen for many, many years how this current ownership group comports itself, which is why there's so many empty seats and protests going on, sell signs all over the place. They want the team sold. So if a new owner could come in here, stop embarrassing Oakland, stop embarrassing Las Vegas, get a new owner in Oakland, get an expansion in Vegas. I think that's what everybody truly wants. Because at some point, I can't believe Rob Manfred's going to let this charade go on any longer.
Whenever I speak about this or tweet about it, inevitably I get a crowd of folks that say, well, the Raiders and the Warriors left the Bay Area anyway. Nobody wants to be in Oakland. Oakland sucks. It's dirty. There's no money there. That's why everyone's going to Vegas. And people point the finger at Oakland. And I feel like that's a bunch of people that have never been there that just kind of want to paint Oakland as the villain. That makes it an easy story to go from A to Z. Tell me the reality of how this folds into losing the previous two teams or is different than the previous two situations.
Yeah, I'll try to sum it up real fast. So the Raiders got $750 million in public funds from Las Vegas. They were never going to turn that down. It would be insane to do that. And the A's were blocking any plans they could have had at the place they currently played. The Warriors had the territorial rights for the entire Bay Area, something that the Raiders and A's have never had. If you're going to build a brand new sparkly arena, if you have the option to do it in San Francisco, I hate to say it, but land is more valuable there. The Warriors went to San Francisco. Both of those situations, I don't see any way you can put that on Oakland. The A's situation is different because they actually have waterfront property, 55 acres, a lot more than 9 that they're getting on the Strip. The city of Oakland has come up with $375 million in offsite funds already for the A's. That's more than Vegas is offering right now. Plus, the city and county has offered to help pay for the onsite, the area where the ballpark would be, the infrastructure there as well. They'd reimburse the A's. So Oakland at this point has come up with far more money than Las Vegas is even offering, more than that $395 million that they could possibly get in Vegas. And yet the A's have still walked away.
And that right there is the exclamation point on this. Whenever somebody says Oakland has screwed another team up, another situation up, think about what Casey just said. All of those things are check marks in the box of Oakland, and the A's have ignored that and just, I don't know, bamboozled their way into Vegas for more free stuff. But it's not the fault of Oakland. To me, that's my biggest disappointment here, is that people are they're mischaracterizing this as Oakland's a flawed community, and so the A's have to leave, versus what you just said is Oakland has stepped up, and the A's are just, they're conning everybody out of more free stuff in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the A's asked Oakland to do. Oakland did all that. The problem is there was a global pandemic and inflation and construction costs went up through the roof. And so everything went way beyond what the A's asked Oakland to do, and Oakland kept raising money. So at this point, they've done what they were asked, but how do you make a deal with somebody that doesn't want to commit? And so far, that has been the big story of the A's situation here. John Fisher is afraid to commit. He didn't want to commit in Oakland. He didn't want to commit to a site in Las Vegas. You saw he finally committed to a site in Las Vegas, the Wild Wild West site, right at the end of the legislative session when they were already telling him, dude, you've got to pick a site. You've got to pick a site. So what did he do? He finally picked a site. 20 days later, he picked another site. So at this point, it's a big problem with commitment, I think.
Yeah, I think John Fisher has a problem with commitment. I would say that's a good way to describe it. Casey Pratt, ABC 7 of the Bay Area. My man, I know it's early for you. Thanks so much. You look good for 6:32 in the morning, so you're doing something right.
I woke up a little early just to get ready for you, Damon. You know, I had to bring the best for your show, your listeners, and you know, we always like coming on here and talking, and everybody's really excited for this. So I had to try to bring it.
It's the healthy Bay Area lifestyle that you're living that's doing well for you. By the way, the walkout is coming, right? We have the reverse protest coming from A's fans in a few weeks.
Yeah, the reverse protest is scheduled for June. I think it's going to be interesting, June 13th. And can they pack that place? Will they pack that place? And how crazy is it going to be if they do pack that place and start doing their 8th inning little stroll around the Coliseum with their cell chants? It's going to be crazy.
I love it.
All right. Well, there you go. CBS Sports Radio, the DA show. And again, his guest this morning was Casey Pratt from ABC 7 in the Bay Area. And Casey, again, has been really since the beginning of the whole Howard Terminal project. He's been the guy. He's covered every one of those meetings. You know how hard it is to sit through a city council meeting? Well, how about 50 of them? Yeah. And you're not elected to office. You're just there covering a story. That's been the case for Casey. Casey's on the case. And so's DA. I love his national perspective coming out of New York there. Okay, we'll keep watching from our perspective here in Las Vegas, of course. 220 mil, that's the gap, according to the latest reporting here this evening. And we'll see if indeed we get renderings and an actual bill before this week is over. We take a break, and when we come back, I bet you like to travel, don't you? maybe the furthest you traveled, if you're like me, is Canada. Oh, I've been to England. That was cool. Go to Florida, go to Disney World. What would it be like to visit every single country in the world, though? The mind is boggled. There is a guy who's done it, and we're going to talk to him, too. His name is Randy R. Williams. His story and how he's able to accomplish all that and still keep his job. That's the other thing. We're going to find out what that's all about. Coming up in just a few minutes, it's the Wayne Coy Show.
The Wayne Coy Show.
Do you need low-priced, quality health insurance for any reason right now? Then call myhealthinsurance.com today. We specialize in helping American workers find affordable health insurance. You can save money on dental, vision, prescription drugs, too. Our message is simple. If you want affordable health insurance for you and your family, even if you have a medical condition, call right now. Is right now the best time for you to start looking for affordable health insurance? We have hundreds of plans to choose from. With one free phone call, you can learn about an affordable health insurance plan that fits your budget. Don't wait. It's a free call. Call now.
800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. That's 800-876-7061.
MyHealthInsurance.com is owned and operated by IHC Specialty Benefits, a licensed insurance agency. We are not an insurance plan or provider. Not all plans are available in all areas. You may be contacted by an insurance agent.
Hi there, this is Kirby Schofield, Schofield Realty here in Las Vegas. Real estate is always changing. Be it a buyer's market, a seller's market, Realty, it's your market. Buying or selling, we have the team and the tools to work the market so it works for you. We are excited that we're on the Wayne Coy Show. Our results blessed us with the Zillow Flex partnership roughly about 2 years ago due to our consistent conversion and customer service scores. With conversion, that means we can close. And with our customer service scores, you know you're going to get the best service possible. We're always looking for agents led by mentorship, resources, and experience. We are your guide. Find us, kirby4u.com. That's KIRBY, the number 4, the letter U.com. kirby4u.com or call 702-766-9538. Again, 702-766-9538.
Do you need low-priced, quality health insurance for any reason right now? Then call myhealthinsurance.com today. We specialize in helping American workers find affordable health insurance. You can save money on dental, vision, prescription drugs, too. Our message is simple. If you want affordable health insurance for you and your family, even if you have a medical condition, call right now. Is right now the best time for you to start looking for affordable health insurance? We have hundreds of plans to choose from. With one free phone call, you can learn about an affordable health insurance plan that fits your budget. Don't wait. It's a free call. Call now.
800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. That's 800-876-7061.
MyHealthInsurance.com is owned and operated by IHC Specialty Benefits, a licensed insurance agency. We are not an insurance plan or provider. Not all plans are available in all areas. You may be contacted by an insurance agent.
Hey, listen to this. Share Life Vacations has a special treat for you. It's a free 3-day, 2-night getaway to either magical Orlando or exciting Las Vegas. It's your choice. Absolutely no strings attached. Share Life will also include a second vacation to your choice of over 30 additional popular resort destinations. Now, we can't give everyone a fantastic prize package like this, so to make it fair, we're going to ask you a trivia question. You get it right, you'll win it all. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This movie is about a British Secret Service agent who is frozen in time in the 1960s. Was that movie Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery? Press 1. Diamonds Are Forever? Press 2. Lethal Weapon? Press 3. Got it? Well, then call 855-301-8586. 855-301-8586. That's 855-301-8586.
The world-famous radio shopping show weekdays on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com. KSHP North Las Vegas, 107.1 FM, 1400 AM, K29 6HP North Las Vegas, and online at KSHP.com.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. President Biden says the latest debt ceiling talks with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy were productive. In a statement, Biden noted that Monday's meeting at the White House was not as much about budgets as it was about the need to prevent default. After the meeting, McCarthy also labeled the talks as productive. 8 more women are now part of a massive lawsuit targeting Texas's near total ban on abortions. One of them is Jessica Bernardo.
Emma's heart was still beating, and the state's confusing new abortion law prevented doctors from treating me.
There are now 15 people signed on to the lawsuit. They were blocked from ending their pregnancies despite dangerous complications. The White House speaking out against a new abortion law in Nebraska, calling it dangerous. The law bans abortions at 12 weeks. The Nebraska abortion restrictions include exceptions for rape, incest, and medical emergencies.
Don't want to listen to all the other stuff that people are trying to make it out to be. It's 2 simple things: protecting our kids and saving our babies.
Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen signed the bill into law Monday. E. Jean Carroll is seeking new damages from former President Donald Trump. This after comments made by Trump on a CNN town hall one day after Carroll won her case May 9th. Trump's attorneys have responded saying the new lawsuit just proves Carroll is out for the money. And NFL legend Tom Brady is one step closer to owning a part of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Former Patriots and Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady knows how to just win, baby. And now he's one step closer to being a partial owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Brady's purchase of a stake in the team from owner Mark Davis has been agreed to and sent to the league office for approval. Brady recently also bought a share of the WNBA's world champion Las Vegas Aces, which is also owned by Davis. In Las Vegas, I'm John Schaefer.
This is USA News.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text PRIDE to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text PRIDE to 321321. That's PRIDE to 321321.
ZenWorld Premium CBD offers full and broad spectrum CBD oil, extracts, and capsules, which are designed to help you feel your best. Their products are sourced from the best organic hemp and natural ingredients on the market and are tested for quality, purity, and potency. They have a full range of items from health and wellness to beauty to pets. Call 725-205-9223. Visit online at zenworld.com or stop by their location at 9895 South Maryland Parkway and Silverado Ranch Parkway. Mention KSHP for 10% off in store or use code KSHP online for 15% off.
Hungry for the best barbecue in Las Vegas? Come out to the infamous barbecue and meat market, John Mole's Meats and Roadkill Grill in Las Vegas. John Mole's was featured on the Food Network's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Now take home delicious meat selections for your grill, and while you're there, grab a bite of the best barbecue in Las Vegas. With 2 locations now at Tom and Gowan or on North Decatur, you're sure to find the perfect meats for your next barbecue or party. Find us online at johnmolemeats.com.
At AR Heating and Air Conditioning, our main goal is to provide high-quality service without breaking the bank. From maintaining your HVAC units to fixing them when they are down, they are there for you. AR Heating and Air Conditioning offer reasonable prices, reliability, and professional service at a great value. For more information, go to fixmyac.net or call 702-646-4000. Beat the heat and call AR Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Welcome to Hash House A Go-Go, where we've been serving farm food and crafted cocktails for over 2 decades. Visit us for the full Hash House experience at any of our 5 Las Vegas locations. Hash House A Go-Go is where old school meets new and gets twisted. We bring people together over good food and fun. Come in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and come hungry because our portions are huge. Visit us online to see our entire menu at hashhouseagogo.com. Hash House A Go-Go. It's a Midwest thing, and there's nothing else like it.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to, pack the kids into the station wagon and go take a trip, okay? It's another thing altogether to visit every single country in the world. I mean, that's never been on my list because I didn't think it was even possible, but you know what? It is possible. How you do it with a radio job, though, I don't know, and we're going to get all the answers to all the questions. Look at that guy right there. I remember him when he was a teenager. Now look at him. He's all grown up, and he's got gray beard.
Blonde.
How are you, Randy?
I'm good. This is a new mic. You'll have to tell me if it's working well or not.
It's working, but it's a bit distorted.
Let's turn it down.
Okay. I like the way it looks, so it's got a very classic look to it.
How about now? Testing.
Oh, that's better. It's better.
We good?
Yeah, well, it's still a little distorted. But
I want a 10 out of 10, though. I'm a radio guy. I need a 10 out of 10.
Okay, well, we don't have a 10 out of 10 yet, so let's keep messing. Go ahead, do what you need to do. Is there
Here
another setting?
1, 2, 3. Check. Test.
Bring it up a little.
We good?
Okay. Let me hear you a little bit more.
All right, here we go. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Almost like you've done this before. Time or two. If you know the name RW, you know it's because Slow Jams on Sunday night is a tradition for what now is generations. It was a generation, but now you've been on long enough that the kids are listening, from their parents, getting them into the habit when they were younger. How long you been doing that show?
It's wild. Since I was 16 years old, 1994. And never in a million years would I think that the show would be on, 200 radio stations and 17 countries, but it is, and I'm super grateful and thankful. And yeah, it's my baby, it's my passion. I play love songs and dedications, and it's kind of like old school Casey Kasem. People call from different areas of the country, and we connect them and bring them together, and it's an amazing thing.
I don't think Casey ever took calls, though, did he?
He didn't take calls, but he did long distance dedications. So, props to Casey and Art LeBeau and Delilah and all the people that, blazed those trails for me to follow their footsteps.
And the cool thing is, because you got started so young, I mean, you could literally do this for, another 25, 30 years if you wanted to. I don't know if you want to.
I sure hope. We're going to ride till the wheels fall off, Wayne.
I love that. All right. Okay. Well, then Voyage to Atlantis for Nancy, if you could do that.
Good choice. I love it.
That's a turn off the lights, make some babies kind of song.
Absolutely.
Well, okay. So is this the way you fell into this whole traveling all around the world thing? Was it because you had to go check on your affiliates to see if they were clearing your commercials?
It's funny. Something you said when you opened the show was you did not know it was possible to see every country in the world. I don't think a lot of people know that. I certainly didn't back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean not too long ago. If you would have told me, hey, you want to go to Iraq? I would have said, are you crazy? There's no way. And you know what, Wayne, you jump into it and you find out that not only can you pretty much go anywhere, but when you get there, the folks aren't waiting to kill you. They're actually opening their arms and their house and their doors to you. And it's I tell you what, man, I've become a different person because of it. But it's so interesting you kicked off the show that way, because I was right there. I'm like, oh, there's no way you can't go to every country. It's impossible.
Yeah,
but you can.
Which you are now living proof. And now I read that depending on your, I guess your definition of how many countries there are, you defined it by UN, right? United Nations countries.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different lists. The biggest standard list is 193, 195 if you count Kosovo and Palestine. Some people do 197. But, and by the way, I've been to those extra ones. But between 193 and 197, there are 193 fully recognized UN countries today on planet Earth. But then there's some lists that count territories. They would count, for example, Puerto Rico and Wales or Scotland, or Greenland's a good one. Some people count that as a country. But in fact, Greenland is part of Denmark. So there's a lot of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So which was first? Where did you go first?
Well, when I was a kid, Mexico, obviously, right? Where most of us, that's our first country.
That's
And
why you're in Tucson, of course. Yeah.
I didn't get the travel bug till decades and decades later. But my first trip that really flipped my lid was a trip to Brazil when I was a young man, and that was just wow. And so I really loved Latin America. I loved everything about it, the music, the culture, the food. And so my first little challenge was, you know what? I want to see all of Latin America, all of Central and South America by the time I turn 40 years old. And I left, as luck would have it, bad luck. I left Venezuela to the very end. And so here I am at 39, and Venezuela's imploding with food riots and shortages and kidnappings. And oh crap, I got to go to Venezuela. And I did. I got that in by the time I turned 40. And there's a couple very bizarre countries in South America. For example, Wayne, do you know that there's a country in South America in the Amazon whose official language is Dutch? Did you know that?
No. I know in South Africa they speak Afrikaans, which is Dutch, or started off being Dutch, right?
Correct. But we're talking South America. We're talking
that's crazy.
You're sandwiched in between Venezuela and Brazil, and all of a sudden you've got people speaking Dutch. So I quickly became attracted to the bizarre. By the way, that's Suriname, previously known as Dutch Guyana, and it's in South America. And these guys speak Dutch. There's not a lick of Spanish spoken in the entire country of Suriname. So that was one of the countries that kind of got me hot for, the more bizarre, unknown places. In fact, when people enter my office and see a giant map, I always have fun with them. And I say, hey, I'll give you a prize. If you can find Suriname on the map, you've got 30 seconds. Go. And the confusion comes over their face. They're
I've
pointing
never
to
heard of it, let alone could find it.
They're going to South Asia and Africa and the Middle East. And sure enough, it's right next to Brazil. So it's just little things like that. But one of the things I've become obsessed with are the bizarre countries. And these are complete countries with economies and political systems and traditions that most Americans, including myself beforehand, had never even heard of, and they exist. And to me, that's just wild to be someplace where 99% of Americans haven't even heard of.
Yeah. Like Suriname, for example.
Suriname. Yeah.
I've never even heard of it. All right. So when you get the list in front of you, what makes you choose, okay, we'll do this one?
Usually they're all done now, right? But in checking them all off, and it took me about 10 years, hot and heavy to, press the accelerator. I think I was at maybe like 35 countries about 10 years ago. So I got about 160 done in 10 years. And what I would do is I would look for a country that really inspires me, like Myanmar. Which I thought was just before and after. I thought it was, hey, this is a really cool, interesting place, Myanmar. And then I'd say, okay, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. What's around Myanmar? And then it's a jigsaw puzzle. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm going to go to Laos and Cambodia and, Vietnam and Myanmar. And it's fun and it's difficult. And, a lot of people assume that every country is connected to every other country, and that's not true. Sometimes if you want to go from A to B, you have to go all the way to J first to get back to B. Yeah. I use a big spreadsheet and a lot of miles, and it's the travel nerd in me, but putting together these trips beforehand have been almost as fun as actually getting there.
Oh, so you're answering my next question, which is who does the preparation? It's not a travel agent. It's Randy.
No, I don't think I've ever used a travel agent. Sometimes I'll use tour guides in a region if it's a sketchy region. But no, it's me, and it's usually I'll have 3 or 4 trips in the hopper, so I will schedule out as far as the airlines will let me book a ticket. But again, that's half the fun. In December, I saw 9 new countries, and they were all in the Pacific. Extremely challenging, and had just one of those flights been severely delayed or canceled, it would have blown the whole thing up. So I've really gotten lucky.
Has that ever happened? We got a cancellation that just messed up the whole trip?
Luckily, no. Let me tell you, like maybe once in the entire travel career, I've skated by some serious disasters, including traveling during coronavirus. Yeah. I was back in the air in June of 2020, actually going into Europe, gallivanting around the EU during all those lockdowns, and it was pretty incredible.
And you were able to do that even though there was a lockdown? They said, sure, come on.
I sent there was an exception. I sent a note to the fine folks at the Hungarian police department and said, hey, I have a business meeting. Can I qualify for your exemption? And they said, sure, here's a letter, here's a piece of paper. And I'm like, wow, okay. And I went to LAX and boarded my Lufthansa plane. They almost didn't let me on. They said, well, you're stopping in Munich first. Germany's not going to let you in. And I begged and I pleaded. And the lady finally let me on the plane. And again, I got there by the skin of my teeth. And to be in Europe in June of 2020, a couple of critics said, hey, that's pretty selfish of you. But I socially distanced and I wore my mask. And I was able to see some places you'd normally be elbow to elbow with people because it's summertime in Europe. I was there by myself.
You had it all to yourself. Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you do this? That's the part, I guess, and I said this last hour. How do you pull this off and you have a day job?
Well, geez, I don't have kids, right? So that frees up a lot of money and time. And I negotiate a heck of a lot of vacation. Really, it's about negotiation. Hey, okay, you don't want to give me a raise this year? Well, I'll take another week of vacation. So, do that for a few years. I've been with my company 12 years. They're fantastic. Not everyone has the luxury I do. But however, I've come to find out that vacation time is something you many times can negotiate. These companies don't want to pay any money these days, Wayne. So,
sure.
Ask
You're
for
gonna take the time and we don't have to pay you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. And I squeeze every single day, and really every hour. I'm a miser. I some people pinch pennies. I pinch my vacation days. And I'm just, it's become a game and a strategy to me.
And you must have a great and very understanding assistant, is what I would guess.
I have amazing people at work that I wouldn't be able to leave if it wasn't for just a phenomenal team that holds it all together.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, so you hired with that in mind. I want people that are going to be me when I can't be.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. So did you have a favorite country now that you've been to all of them?
I have a top three. The favorite will always have to go to Brazil because it's the only place that I moved to. I quit my job when I was 30 and sold my car and kissed my mom goodbye and moved to Brazil. So it's the only country that I've actually kind of left everything for, and I still have a house in Brazil. Number two would be the Philippines.
Oh wow!
So I'm really excited about going back to these places. Philippines. I've only spent collectively 2 or 3 or 4 nights there. So now I'm going to go back for weeks. And then
don't forget your boxes.
What's that?
When you go to the Philippines, you got to send back some boxes. You didn't know that?
Send boxes.
Yeah, you got to send boxes to your friends or your family. And
boxes.
Yeah, you met people when you were there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you put some treats and some presents and things in boxes and ship them ahead.
To Philippines or to my folks? Really?
To Philippines, yeah. And they'll be happy that you did that.
You're giving me work to do now. Okay, you'll have to tell me about that. All right. And then Turkmenistan, number 3, which
I was wondering if it made the list, and it did. Okay.
I'm gonna find a way to live there, Wayne. I really am. It was incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the mall that with all the gold and everything, but it did look empty. It looked like nobody was there.
So I made a lot of friends in Turkmenistan, and they replied to that Insta story or that post and said, you got to understand Turkmenistan, they're very traditional. It reminds me of the United States, maybe in the 40s or the 50s, where the wife works at the house and the dad goes to work, and everyone dresses so properly.
And they all talk like this, see?
Okay. But they wrote me and they said, hey, no one's here because you're there at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. We're all working. And I said, oh, that's a novel concept. I guess that kind of makes sense. They're at work.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, that was the reason why. If you'd gone back in a few hours after work, the place had been popping.
According to the Turkmen, yes.
Okay. What language do they speak there?
So they speak half of them, or they speak 2 languages, Turkmen and then Russian, because it's a former Soviet possession or state. So, yeah.
Now, have you in your travels learned other languages, or do you just speak English the whole way through?
Yeah, so I learned Spanish and Portuguese, and I was just gaga over Brazil, as I mentioned a long time ago. So I was all in. So I went to school and studied Portuguese and at the University of Arizona. I'm still not up to par. I'm not fantastic at it, but yeah, no, I could get around in Spanish and Portuguese, and it's super fun going to some of these African nations that are former Portuguese colonies. kind of blows your mind. Like, wait a minute, I'm in Africa. I'm speaking with the locals, their local language, which is Portuguese. And it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Did you get waxed while you were there?
In Brazil.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Absolutely. You can't go to Brazil and not get waxed.
Not
Absolutely.
get waxed. You have to do that. So what's next? I mean, I've already figured out you're a guy who's got to have a challenge. I bought your book, by the way, which was fantastic. Thanks for writing it.
Yeah, awesome.
Still haven't figured out how to do it yet, but we'll get there maybe.
Okay.
And then I saw you on Shark Tank. So I know you got your hands in lots and lots of pies, Slow Jams being the one that I think everybody already knows you for, but we're going to know you for something else. I just know that. So what is it? What are you going to do next?
Well, can you see the screen behind me? Do you see what's happening? Do you know what that is? No, well,
Slow Jamistan.
Yes. So the headline is I ran out of countries, so I made my own. I annexed 11 acres in the California desert, and I declared independence. So I am now Sultan of my own republic. It is called the Republic of Slow Jamistan. We have over 1,600 citizens. We have our own national anthem. It's very catchy, by the way. We have passports. We have money. We have currency. We have laws. We have a border gate. We have border agents. So I'm having a ton of fun. And before you say, hey, this guy has lost his marbles, there is a hobby in the US and actually around the world called micronationalism. And it's usually eccentric middle-aged guys like me that decide to take a piece of property and call it our own country. I'm certainly not the inventor of this. And I've decided to enter that arena. So I have my own country, and I'm having just a blast at being the ruler of my nation.
Have the Oakland A's talked to you about moving there?
That'd be a great economy stimulant, because right now we're in the
and athletics.
I'm in the red right now. I got to get in the black. So
now, so you said 1,600 people. Did they have a voice in this at all, or were they just told? We know you used to live in Borax or whatever. Now you live in Slow Jamistan.
You know, I put a sign up in the desert about a year and a half ago, and just a big giant green sign that says, Republic of Slow Jamistan. And then I just sat back and I just watched. And of course, we built a website, and the number of people, not just around the globe, the country, but the globe, that has found Slow Jamistan and wanted to be a part of it. Now, if this was an all Slow Jamistan special here, I would be in my Sultan costume and I'd be speaking in my Sultan accent. You're getting a little behind the scenes treat here. Wow. And I'll tell you, the thing about Slow Jamistan is that, honestly, at the end of the day, I think it came at the right time. People need an escape from the drama and the fighting and the division.
Division, yes.
Oh, it's been so tough. And you know what? You can go to Slow Jamistan, and we don't really talk about politics. We talk about our own politics and our own funny, silly laws, including the prohibition of Crocs. You're not allowed to wear Crocs footwear.
They're actually illegal?
They're the foundation which we lie upon, and you're severely punished if you try to come with Crocs across our lines.
What about Hey Dudes? Can we get in with those?
What are they called? Which ones?
Hey Dudes.
What are those?
They're similar, very light, comfortable shoes.
I'll have to have an emergency.
But they don't have holes in them like Crocs.
I will have an emergency parliament meeting tomorrow and discuss, and I'll get back to you. But no, look, Wayne, Slow Jamistan is what people make it, and people have just jumped in, and you can, for a small fee, you can name a state in Slow Jamistan. You can be a member of parliament. People buy passports. It's silly and it's a lot of fun.
I love it. I love it so much. I love it with a capital L. That's how much I love it. Yeah. I got to visit. Where is it? How do I get there?
Absolutely. So if you go to slowjamistan.org, slowjamistan.org, the coordinates are there. It's about an hour south of the Salton Sea in Imperial County, California, a really cool area of Southern California, about 40 miles north of Old Mexico. And yeah, it's getting a little hot right now, but we do have events. We had a sitting president visit us 2 weekends ago. So we're having fun. It's a blast.
That's right. You know all the muckety mucks now. You've been everywhere.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You're like that Johnny Cash song, Come to Life.
Yeah,
right?
That's me.
Okay. Well, Ramblin'-Randy, at Ramblin'-Randy. Is that the best way for people to keep up with you?
No, did I type that or did you? No,
I did. It's my bad.
That's not my handle.
Not using that one. Okay.
I'm all over the place, but you can go to ramblinrandy.com is my travel blog. Some guy in Texas owns that handle. I tried to buy it from him. He wasn't interested. So
Well, we were on your YouTube channel, and that's what it said. It said at Ramblin' Dash.
on YouTube, you're right. I'm all over the place. I'm failing promotions 101 with all the different handles all over the place. But the website is Ramblin' Randy. You can see my trip to North Korea and some of these crazier places. And we have travel tips. It's I'd love for you to come along and check some of that stuff out.
Gonna check it all out. Thank you for your time, sir. I've just been fascinated following the story, and to be able to get it up firsthand here right out of your mouth, that's awesome. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Wayne.
Okay. We'll see you in Slow Jamistan, and don't forget Mind-Blowing Decisions by Heatwave. That's the one. Please.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Okay, that and Voyage to Atlantis. If you want to do a double for Nancy from Wayne, that'd be okay.
I got it.
Don't forget Slow Jams every Sunday night. It's radio the way it was meant to be, and that's the guy who hosts it, R-Dub. So check the show out, and we'll be back with more. Our guy who's on the scene with the Vegas Golden Knights, Chris Collins. We will talk to Mr. Hockey next. Buy an investment property? Well, you need to contact Michael Goyeneche at Option Funding. Their well-trained staff can assist you through the financing process and get you the funds that you need. They've got the programs to suit all investors. Now, that includes standard commercial financing, no-income DSCR loans, and hard money, too. You can refinance any existing properties for cash out, or if you're looking to purchase an investment property, they can get it done for you as well. With rental income on the rise, this is a good time to invest in a rental property. And there are investment opportunities with positive cash flows right here in Nevada and other surrounding states too. They handle single family residences, 4 units, apartment complexes, and of course, commercial buildings. So give Michael a call at 818-821-7811. That's 818-821-7811, or email mikegloans@gmail.com. NMLS 163400, DRE 01342072, NMLS 1444037, DRE 01921141.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at kshp.com. Go to kshp.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
Hey, listen to this. Share Life Vacations has a special treat for you. It's a free 3-day, 2-night getaway to either magical Orlando or exciting Las Vegas. It's your choice. Absolutely no strings attached. Share Life will also include a second vacation to your choice of over 30 additional popular resort destinations. Now, we can't give everyone a fantastic prize package like this, so to make it fair, we're going to ask you a trivia question. You get it right, you'll win it all. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. This movie is about a British Secret Service agent who is frozen in time in the 1960s. Was that movie Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery? Press 1. Diamonds Are Forever, press 2. Lethal Weapon, press 3. Got it? Well, then call 855-301-8586. 855-301-8586. That's 855-301-8586.
Live from Las Vegas, this is the Wayne Coy Show.
Talking hockey, eh? And nobody talks it better than our next guest. I don't know how many countries he's been to, but we're going to find out. Chris Collins is Mr. Hockey, and we're doing this the night before. Usually we do it night of, but we thought this time around we would have this conversation before the game. Because the game tomorrow starts at like 5 o'clock, so we'd already know the score by the time you came on, so that's not fair. It's better to, find out ahead of time. Did you decide you were going to drive just for the show, Chris, or what?
Well, I want you to come on hold. 6:30, so I'm an hour early.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You're not buying that or what? Okay, you didn't get that one. All right. Were you a morning guy? I forgot.
You know what? We have a bad connection, Chris.
Anyway.
Breaking up like crazy. Is there anything I wonder that maybe we could do there to clean it up a little bit? Oh,
to a stoplight here. Tell me, is that better?
yeah, no, it's pretty bad actually.
How about that? Is that a little bit better?
It's not your usual clear.
Well, I've got police. Maybe they're.
Okay, yeah, you're breaking up like
Okay,
every
try
other
it
word.
this way.
We're gonna
How about
take
now?
a break. When we come back, we might have to do what we had to do one other time, which is get you on the phone. But we'll see. Let's see if that cleared it up first before we go away. Are you there?
Okay.
No. Well, maybe.
Yes, I'm loud and clear.
Yeah, it's breaking up really bad, Chris. Doggone it. Okay, so we will take a break and get you on the phone because that's the only way we're going to be able to hear you. You got to find out what you think of this this game as the Golden Knights go on the road and try to win their third game of this series. Are already up 2-0. So we'll check back with Mr. Hockey in just a minute. Hang on.
Quality health insurance for any reason right now? Then call myhealthinsurance.com today. We specialize in helping American workers find affordable health insurance. You can save money on dental, vision, prescription drugs too. Our message is simple. If you want affordable health insurance for you and your family, even if you have a medical condition, call right now. Is right now the best time for you to start looking for affordable health insurance? We have hundreds of plans to choose from. With one free phone call, you can learn about an affordable health insurance plan that fits your budget. Don't wait. It's a free call. Call now.
800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. 800-876-7061. That's 800-876-7061.
MyHealthInsurance.com is owned and operated by IHC Specialty Benefits, a licensed insurance agency. We are not an insurance plan or provider. Not all plans are available in all areas. You may be contacted by an insurance agent.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino, featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sportsbook, or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches, like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
Now back to the Wayne Coy Show.
Yeah, well, one way or the other, we're going to get him on because you know what, hockey is what he does, and we're in the throes of hockey mania right now here in Las Vegas. So we need to talk to Mr. Hockey, Chris Collins. This is the old-fashioned way. We're doing it on the phone. Hi, Chris.
Hey, bud. How you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. It's Bluetooth. I can tell that, but that's okay. Good to have you on. And so how have you spent these last couple of games watching the Golden Knights? Are they doing things you didn't think they would do, or is this exactly as you called it?
Well, I mean, I think it's what I expected. I thought maybe the games would be a bit more open, but they have not been. And as we've seen throughout the playoffs this year, one way that they're all challenging opposite or the opponents, if you will, each home team, or in this case, just the opposition, challenging them is by taking away ice and slowing the play down overall. Not all the time, but so I'm not surprised. I told you, I think at the beginning of the playoffs, I thought that the Golden Knights would use their more experienced forwards early on. And now it's star versus stars. We saw in game 2, Jack Eichel for the Golden Knights was.
Well, Chris, did we lose you? Chris, you there? Hello. Okay, well, we've lost Chris. He must be in a bad area, I'm guessing, because we're having issues even on the phone. So, again, we'll take a quick pause, come back, and hopefully carry on our conversation with Chris Collins, Mr. Hockey. This is the Wayne Coy Show.
The Wayne Coy Show.
Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, We have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-557-8036. 800-557-8036. 800-557-8036. That's 800-557-8036.
Now, back to the Wayne Coy Show.
Hey, sponsors are loving it, right? A little extra time for the advertisers. I like that. Okay, so we're back with Chris Collins, Mr. Hockey.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry, but I lost you there. So if you could go back to Eichel.
Yeah, Eichel has been phenomenal, and he's really outplayed and outperformed what I think a lot of people projected for him. But that's because, you know, he's never been on a great team. He opened in Buffalo, and, you know, he had injury issues there. He tried to play through it. He was patient with Buffalo, got moved to the Golden Knights. They were patient, got the surgery that he needed on his neck. And guess what? At crunch time, he comes through. He can play. And he made some phenomenal plays in his own end in game 2. And calmed down the puck, made simple plays out of the zone, made big plays, won one-on-one battles, which in ice hockey is a major, major part of the game, the National Hockey League. And it doesn't get mentioned enough because you really have to be able to slow the game down in your mind and look at what happens in one-on-one battles. Tonight, while you were on the air, Florida played Carolina. This series has been insane.
Wait a minute. The nerve of those guys. They actually played a game while I was on the air?
I told them not to. And after I did, now they're interfering with the phone call. So you can see what, you know, the power that you exude. But,
so it's their fault. I got it. Yeah.
Carolina could be up 3-0 in this series. They're down 3-0. And the one-on-one battles in this series with Florida and Carolina have been unbelievable. Unbelievable. But they've got the hot netminder in Bobrovsky, the Russian, who signed in Florida a couple of years ago for big money and never really fulfilled because they didn't really have, I think, the scheme to do as much. And now they do, and they seem to be on a roll. So I think the Vegas Golden Knights are in the same position right now. But these games have been incredibly close. With Dallas, as I told you, they're matched up very evenly. It would not surprise me if the Golden Knights took one of two or both, or if Dallas, you know, again, took one of two or two at home. I mean, it's been that kind of matchup. I'd like to think that there's a psychological advantage for Vegas right now that they can sort of withstand what's coming at them. And we go from there. I think the net minding has been very good because the defenders wearing the Golden Knight sweaters have done a good job of clearing the front of the net so he can see the puck.
Yep.
Which is what they wanted to do, and then maybe get him on a roll where his confidence picks up, because that's what you really need. In the playoffs, you need a netminder that can get on a roll, have confidence, if they can challenge one-on-one, or if there's an odd man rush, okay, or a breakaway, or a 2-on-1. If you hear the announcers calling 2-on-1, you'll see the defenseman will usually take the free man and let the puck shooter go one-on-one with the netminder. And when your netty's playing with confidence, he'll take that one-on-one
all
shooter
day
and come out, cut the angle down, and all that good stuff. So
this is a part of the series, though, where it is easy to start. If you're not disciplined, it's easy to start thinking past this series already. And gee, I wonder who I'd rather play. And you're thinking about the finals. You better not do that, right?
No, you can't. You can't do that, and you can't do it against a veteran team. Dallas has, Pabs there, Joe Pavelski. I'm thinking Tyler Seguin, he came back from serious knee surgery a year ago, and I'm wondering if maybe he's feeling a little bit of heat right now. He seems to be struggling with the puck. Robertson, the big forward kid from Orange County, he got a goal last game against the Golden Knights, and it was a beautiful goal. It was a tip-in front where he got Hill to lean one way and then deflected the puck the other way. But they've got some big-time talent on that team. There's an argument to be made for the big D, number 4, the Finnish kid, to win the the Norris Trophy is the best defenseman over Carlson of San Jose. He's really a good player. So, and Ottinger is a very, very good netminder. So, again, the matchup is still there. I like the Golden Knights team. I like what they did here. I think Bruce Cassidy has brought another element, and I give credit because, Cassidy has worked with this group of management before when he was in Washington. He was a young head coach. Everybody thought he was going to be the next great coach in the league. He got hired at a young age in Washington and then didn't last through. They got rid of him. But I mean, there was some really good engineering by the senior management of the Golden Knights to bring him in. And this is the difference. Okay. It may not be 8-2, 6-0. Fans are going crazy. Look at, we're dominating. It doesn't matter. All that matters is you win. And if you win consistently and you can win games 2-1, 1-0, 3-2, 2-1 again, that's how championship blood is bred into your organization. And that's at least what I've seen from Cassidy so far. And I don't think people saw it consistently enough. And the Golden Knights haven't been around that long. So, I mean, it's not fair to say in their history has been short and it's been wildly successful. And guess what? With this kind of performance year in and year out and the willingness to spend money, okay, and the willingness not to be afraid to make trades, to bring in pieces that are risky, okay? You take a risk. I mean, the risk can be it works or it doesn't work. And they've done that. And Cassidy is really a good coach. He was a good coach in Boston. I'm not quite sure why that move was made. Only they know. It worked out for him in the regular season, but in the postseason, Bruce is overdue. I think it'd be fantastic to see this team, which I picked from the beginning of the year. I thought with him there that they would go to the Cup final. So this, I'm
playing out the way you thought it would. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love Dallas too. I like the big boys in that team. I love Pabs. They've got a great coach, DeBoer. He's, been to the finals before. Ottinger's it's just great. This is when hockey is great. It's just great. It's stars on the ice, and every little thing matters. It makes it the greatest sport in the world. It's just incredible. The game the other night was incredible. The tying goal was incredible. What a play. In 1 second, bing, bang, it was a goal. Crowd goes crazy. Overtime, same thing. Bing, bang, bing, game over.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. It really was.
Well, yeah, of course. That doesn't happen by accident. These kids practice that. These kids are disciplined. They play hurt. Okay, and I mean, this has been the character of Vegas, who last year were decimated by injury, barely missed the playoffs. Everybody's like, oh, well, gee, what's going to happen? What'd they do? They went out. They stuck with the moves they made. They made a move at the coaching decision on a guy that had already been winning. They brought in another guy, and look where they're going. So, I mean, this is what it takes. You've got to be courageous. You got to be able and willing to do these things.
It's kind of crazy they've done that they've only missed the playoffs 1 year of their entire existence.
Well, they were good last year. They were devastated by injury. They were in first place for a while. But in hockey, there's only so much you can do when you're devastated and decimated by injury. Now, you can play hard, play a defensive core, and try to slow things down and just manage your way through the injuries. But it doesn't always work. The important thing is you play hard, you play consistent, and you battle to the end. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, then you build from that. And clearly the Golden Knights have done that this year. It should excite the fan base. It really should.
Oh, they're excited. I go to the grocery store, like I told you last week. You can feel the difference just in the, as each round goes by, more and more people are starting to get amped up. And, it's definitely a hockey town for sure. Yeah.
It makes me laugh. When I'm up here, I live in Fair Oaks outside Sacramento. And, I was with the Sharks from 92 through 97 and back again 05 through 10. And I drive around town now and I see middle-aged families with Shark stickers on the back of their car and the name, license plate. And that, I look at them, I'll stop at the light and I look at them because I'm thinking, when did you become hockey fans? We're 137 miles away from the front doors of San Jose Arena. And we've got these hardcore fans here. And I'm thinking those years that I worked with them, look what it's become. And the same thing has happened in Vegas. And in 20 years from now, you'll be able to see that and go, wow, from the beginning to where we're at now. It's amazing to see the growth like that and see the sport work in these non-traditional markets. And we're a non-traditional market. I'm 137 miles. I used to work, obviously, with the Sharks and live here. And I commute back and forth 137 miles a day each way. So it's I know the feeling in Vegas. I know the feeling when the team does well, everybody buys into it. And that team has been special to that market from the beginning. And it's nice to see them enjoy some success, but the job's not done. They've got to go to Dallas. They got to win 1 or 2, and they're going to have to make a statement. They can't go and, like we say, defecate on the bed. They can't do it. They've got to stay in. They got to play hard. They got to battle.
I've never heard it cleaned up quite that way, but that's pretty good.
Okay, well, I wanted to be nice. I figured it was a G-rated show, and you had Disney ads coming on next. So I didn't want to upset anybody.
I love it. I love it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, bud.
I was just going to say,
ask if Tom Brady was in studio tonight.
Nope, you beat me to it. That's my next question for you. I was just going to ask you, because you and I are both Raider fans, and any self-respecting Raider fan doesn't really have a lot of love for Tom Brady. And,
well, he was only in 10 Super Bowls.
Yeah,
and won 6 of them. Is only the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. The guy was 45 years old. And he led the NFL in passing at 45. He probably could have played another couple of years.
And all of that's great, but at the end of the day, it was a fumble. Okay, so if you're a Raider fan,
let's move on now.
Okay, so now he's going to be the owner. Is it possible that Tom Brady's going to fire Josh McDaniels? Is that going to happen?
I'm praying. I'm going to go to church and light many candles. I think that, the old man used to say, it doesn't matter how old they are, whether it's Ronnie Lott or Jerry Rice or the greatest players want to play for the Raiders. He gave Steve Young a contract when Steve Young they thought was going to be a vegetable. So, I mean, the old man would have loved this, okay, that Brady came over. Besides the fact that Belichick was basically a student of Al Davis, it almost makes sense, okay? So I'm not surprised whatsoever. It would be great if he became the active owner of the team, because I'd love to see him walk into Gillette Stadium with a Raider hat on. That would make my life.
People would, they would not like that in New England. I'm positive of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it's good. I mean, listen, they need winning around there. They can't have more, 5 and 6 failed drafts with guys getting arrested, for crashing cars and killing innocent people. I mean, this has got to come to an end. They've got to play like a normal franchise and operate. And, this guy, what was he in? Was he in 9, 10 Super Bowls? I mean, are you serious?
Yeah.
He's arguably the greatest player in the history of the NFL from a success standpoint. His team's always won. So, listen, that's what Al wanted to surround himself with always. The greatest want to wear silver and black. So they just did that. So give Mark some credit for it.
I wonder if Mark was influenced by his dad in that regard. I wonder if Al was a Brady fan and or did Mark sort of fall in love with him? I mean, the joke is he's smitten with him. It's like I had to have him.
Well, Al was a big fan of Bay Area athletes, so I would imagine Mark is as well. I mean, he's a born and bred Bay Area guy.
Yeah.
We'll excuse him for going to high school at what's that name of that school he went to? Sarah. Yeah, the school.
Yep.
But other than that, he's a good guy, and but he's a Bay Area kid. So I mean, Mark and Al. I mean, I'll reserve comment on that. I don't know what I don't think the relationship was as great as maybe people thought, but I think Mark learned one thing, which is one, you can't have people that are bigger than the jersey when it comes time to competing. And I've always agreed with that philosophy. So if a kid made a major mistake in his life, you can't go out and then just shine that aside and then tell people about your commitment to doing the right thing. So I think the Raiders have lived by that, and I give them some credit for that. It's just been, there's been too many small errors that have held that franchise back. You and I both know it. Being diehards, I can put that aside and see they're not that far away. Now, I hope Josh surprises me this year. If they went 9-8, 10-7 or whatever it is, they should hold a parade for him. Okay. I would be thrilled, but it'll be a small parade, of course. But, if it's again 6-11 or 5-12.
Then there's only one parade. It's a parade out of town, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll help him pack.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
have you spent any time? Have you spent any time with Mark Davis at all in your lifetime?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, at Chico Days, which is an infamous college, Chico State, and Art Whittington was a good friend of mine. And yeah, a couple of times I ran into Mark and Cliff Branch and Arthur up in Chico because Art worked on my morning zoo show in Sacramento. So yeah, and then in LA, my dear friend Johnny Barbas, who was a major record president of Geffen and then ran Bertelsmann and managed U2 and Elton and everybody else. I had season tickets with him, and Mark would come up all the time. And you know, Mark was a self-made kid. People don't realize that.
Right.
He's Hot Pockets inside a jersey. That's Mark. Put his own money into it. He worked his butt off with the Raiders as a kid. He was Cliff Branch's agent. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that. Went to Chico State, got a business degree. I mean, Mark is what he is. He's a good guy. Okay. And I think by these hires, and he's telling people, look, I'm done with, you know, sentimental favorites that, you know, draft guys that go out and get arrested for killing people. Okay. We can't have that anymore. That's not the Raider way. Let's get this right. Just don't know if Josh McDaniels is the guy there based on what I'm hearing from players and elsewhere. But time will reveal, as DeBarge told us in the mid-80s.
That was El DeBarge, ladies and gentlemen, 1983, if I remember.
It was the album, but it was the third cut off of the album. Now you were still, I think, in junior high school, but as program directors remember well.
I'll go ahead and take that. If you want to give it to me, I'll take it. Hey man, I was in the DJ booth making people dance in 1983. I had only been in radio for 2 years at that point. Am I right? Was it 83 or was it later? Now maybe I'm thinking it was like 86.
You were in elementary school when I was at 16 years old doing weekends at KKIQ in Livermore, Pleasanton.
No, I wasn't in elementary school, but I was driving into town from Oakland to go see my girlfriend in San Ramon, which was the Lottie-Dottie rich folks. And I was the kid from the hood from East Oakland. So I would go up there and make my way into the Crow Canyon Country Club.
Oh yeah, you've always struck me as a gang type. You know, I tell people, you know, watch out for MC White Boy because that's you. So.
Yeah. Oh, I will cut you. I will cut you. Hey, so and you know what's crazy? You said Arthur Whittington, and when I was in Victoria, Texas, that's his hometown, and he would come home and dance at the club that I worked at.
Oh man, Art's a great guy. He's like George Foreman. I think he's had 4 kids, and all of them are named Arthur. He had a daughter here with his girlfriend in Sacramento, and I think he tried to name her.
Her name was Arthurette. Yeah. Arthuretta. It'd be Arthuretta.
Yeah, and he had a job here, a huge sales job, because he had that big diamond Super Bowl ring on. And I go, what do you do? I said, you're on the zoo with us every morning. Do you go to work? He goes, yeah. I go, what do you do? He goes, I don't know. I just go to work and sit around and talk to people all day long. And his boss
and get paid for it.
Dude,
sure.
Yeah. What kind of job is this that you have?
It's a great job. It's good work.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I want to leave with this last conversation, which is the events of the day. And I don't have the whole picture. This is all breaking right as we're going on the air. But the report from up in Carson City is Nevada has said 150 million, Mr. Fisher, and that's it. So we have a $200 million gap, no pun intended. What is your take now?
Well, my take is that he should turn and sell the team in the Bay Area to somebody that wants to buy it, and then let them approach MLB and say, you know, we'll guarantee, you know, a new stadium within 3 years. I mean, this is ridiculous. So he turns down the Bay Area, the richest real estate in the world, to go to Vegas, which is the richest destination point in the world, which embraces winners. Okay. And he comes with a team no one knows is on the team. They're drawing 100 people per game in Oakland. And they're going to do what? He's going to spend $1 billion to build a facility with Tropicana, who gives him the land, which has got infrastructure. They'll make sure the roads are in so that stadium can be there. I mean, please explain the logic to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've done this a long time besides radio and programming and doing TV for the Sharks and all that. I've done business for a long time. And I can tell you, like today, I'm sorry I was late, but I was putting together a nearly $1 billion soccer deal. Okay. And I can tell you, no one does business this way. So he's caught himself in a corner if Rob Manfred is the one that's telling him, get out of Oakland, we said so, then, and that comes out, then he should be removed as MLB commissioner, because Vegas needs an MLB team, but it needs to be done correctly so that the fans know they have an organization coming in that won't sell 5 All-Stars the first 4 years they play in the league and get rid of them so that the guy can build more Gap stores or Old Navy stores or whatever it is he owns from now on. It's ridiculous.
I saw a graphic the other day where they put together a roster of players that are currently in Major League Baseball that were playing for the Oakland A's. Okay.
Yes.
And it's a freaking all-star team. But they're everywhere else except Oakland because he's not going to pay them.
I had an argument with a Dodger fan the other day, and I said, I'm going to ask Wayne Coy this story. I told him I thought the A's traded Justin Verlander to Detroit.
No,
Verlander.
No, Verlander.
Who was it
Verlander was never ours. No.
Who did they trade to Detroit then? I thought they traded a top pitcher. You sure about that?
Yeah. I'm trying to
You're not.
Sonny.
Now, there you are. You're falsifying broadcast. You're on 2 frequencies, and you're, well, maybe I'm not right.
I'm right. I'm saying I can't think of who it would have been that they gave to Detroit.
I think it was a big pitcher. They gave like a big all-star guy. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Well,
I just thought I'd throw
Sonny.
that in.
How about Sonny Gray? He left, and
no,
now
it wasn't Sonny Gray.
And Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray was gunned down at the toll booth on Godfall. Oh, wait, no, that was Sonny. Sorry,
different guy.
Sonny.
It wasn't Sonny Barger either. It was.
I hope you'll make my son presentable. Anyway,
no, we'll have to Google that. GTS.
Yeah.
Google
okay.
that stuff.
I just wanted to throw you for a loop. You know. So anyway, the Golden Knights have been good. It would be a phenomenal final. 2 destination cities, 2 non-traditional hockey markets. It would be remarkable to have a Florida-Las Vegas final. But the Golden Knights have been really good, and if they can continue to play the way they've played, I'm going to be surprised if they don't make it into this into the finals. I mean, I've seen it from day one. I just, everybody, Eichel has been amazing. He's the player I thought he was going to be, and he's only going to get better. But Bruce Cassidy, folks, you just can't comprehend what it means to have a coach that either has the hands-on and gets athletes to buy into the system and then knows to back off and say, okay, boys, yeah, it's a rough 10 minutes. Yeah, it's a rough 5 minutes. We had a rough period. Let's get back to our system. Let's stay on it. Let's do it. We're fine. Get out there and get the puck deep. Let's jam. Let's, get it done. And they do. And that is worth its weight in gold. So I'm excited to see it.
Well, we've got your prediction. It's been hermetically sealed since the beginning. And and you're standing by it. That's what I love. There's none of this wishy-washy vacillation with you. You're convicted. That's what I like about you. You're convicted. I should be
until
convicted.
I'm wrong. Yeah, until I'm wrong, then I'll blame you. So it'll be fine.
Cool. Well, that would be fine. I can wear that. And it wasn't Verlander. I was just told no, never an Oakland A's. So there you go.
Well, who was it?
I don't know.
Somebody from the A's got traded to Detroit. What kind of answer is that? Well, let's see. Babe Ruth wasn't a member of the Giants, but he could have been. I mean, what was that? One of your personal assistants that told me that?
Yeah, it was actually, and
somebody from the A's got moved, a young pitcher that developed into an all-star, and Billy brought over somebody.
Okay,
and I cannot think of it. I thought it was Verlander, but that shows you. They gave away so many stars, it's hard to keep up with it.
See, that's what I'm saying. And Vegas, that's what you're going to get if you have this owner. Yeah. So you don't want this owner, believe me, you don't. So
yeah, amen.
All right, sir. Boy, this is always fun.
Okay,
it takes us like 20 minutes to get you actually on the air, but once we do, it's
great. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sure that your program director appreciates my cackling and breaking up on my phone, but it is good service. I usually steal my cell phone service every day under overpasses. So good thing it worked tonight before the authorities got it.
Well, there you go. And I've already paid the program director, so you don't have to worry about him.
Okay.
All right, there he goes, Mr. Hockey. Chris Collins, nobody better. Thanks to our guest tonight. We enjoyed every bit of Adrian Hernandez, who was here from the Sporting Tribune. West Coast sports, they've got him covered. The Aces, the Raiders, and his own podcast. And then how about that Randy Williams? That man has literally been everywhere. Every single country that is a country as far as the UN is concerned. He's been to all of them. Set out with a little bit of a hobby or a dream, and he achieved it. I just am a big fan of that guy. Don't forget Sunday Night Slow Jams. That's his show, and it's on the air all around the U.S. and around the world. So check that out. We're off tomorrow, back again on Wednesday. We'll see you then.
The world-famous radio shopping show, weekdays on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.
USA Broadcast Network.